You book a hotel room at what looks like a great price. You arrive tired, you check in, and somewhere between the booking screen and the final bill, that great price has quietly swelled by 50, 80, sometimes over $100, for things you never asked for and may never use. It happens to millions of travelers, and most of them just sigh and pay. Here's the truth the hotel industry relies on. The advertised room rate is only the beginning of the story. The real price is hidden in fees, holds, and surcharges you don't see until it's too late to easily walk away. Today, I'll reveal 14 hotel secrets that quietly drain your wallet and exactly how to fight back against each one. Stay with me, because the trick at number 4 can save you money before you even book. And number 1 is the single realization that turns nearly every hotel fee into something you can shrink or erase. Here's the one idea behind all 14. Hotels have learned they can advertise a low, attractive room rate to win your booking, then quietly add the profit back through fees layered on afterward, counting on you being too tired, too rushed, or too polite to object. Almost every secret here is a way to see those hidden costs clearly and push back. Let's start with the bait that pulls you in. Number 14. The bait rate. It begins with a number that looks like a bargain. You compare hotels, spot an appealing nightly rate, and book. What you don't realize is that the rate you saw was engineered to look low, precisely so the extras could be added later. Here's the logic hotels use. By advertising a cheaper base room rate, they win the comparison against competitors and secure your booking. Then, once you're committed, the mandatory fees, surcharges, and optional extras get stacked on top, often not fully visible until the final payment screen or even checkout. The low rate wasn't the real price. It was the hook, chosen because it beat the hotel down the street on paper. So never judge a hotel by its headline rate alone. Look for the true, all-in total, including every fee, before you compare and book. A room that looked cheaper can easily end up costing more once the hidden charges land. And the biggest of those charges has a friendly-sounding name. Number 13. The resort fee racket. Here's the big one. Many hotels, especially in tourist destinations, charge a daily resort fee, sometimes called a destination fee, amenity fee, or facility fee. It can run anywhere from $20 to over $100 per night, added on top of your room rate and taxes. Now here's what most travelers don't know. Despite how mandatory it sounds, a resort fee is not a tax. It's not a legal requirement, and it doesn't go to staff as a tip. It's simply a charge the hotel decided to impose, pure revenue that lets them advertise a lower room rate while collecting the difference through the fee. It's spread from luxury beach resorts to ordinary city hotels precisely because it works so well as hidden profit. So always search a hotel's site for resort fee or destination fee before booking and factor it into the true price. Knowing it's the hotel's own invention, not a tax, is the first step, because as we'll see, fees like this can often be challenged. And what these fees supposedly buy you is its own quiet scandal. Number 12. The phantom amenities. When you question a resort fee, you'll be told it covers wonderful amenities: the pool, the gym, the Wi-Fi, bottled water, the fitness center, local phone calls. It sounds almost reasonable until you realize the catch. Here's the trap. You pay for those amenities whether or not you ever use a single one of them. Never touch the pool? You still pay. Don't set foot in the gym? You still pay. Bring your own water and use your phone's data? You still pay. The fee bundles together services you may have no interest in and makes them mandatory, so the hotel collects for a package of perks most guests barely use. You're paying for a pool you'll never swim in. So recognize the phantom amenity fee for what it is, and remember it when it's time to check out. You're being charged for things you didn't choose and may not want, and that's exactly the kind of fee that can be pushed back on. But before the fees, there's a cost that hits the moment you park. Number 11. The parking gouge. You arrive at your city hotel, pull up to park, and discover that parking your own car will cost you an eye-watering daily fee, often $40, $50, even $60 a night, sometimes more than the resort fee itself. Here's what hotels count on. Once you've arrived, luggage in the trunk, you feel you have no choice but to hand over your keys and accept whatever the hotel charges. But hotel parking is frequently far pricier than public lots or garages just a short walk away. The convenience is real, but so is the markup, and a hotel in a dense city knows a tired traveler rarely goes hunting for a cheaper spot. So before you travel, Spend a few minutes searching for parking near your hotel. A public garage or lot nearby can often cost a fraction of the hotel's rate, saving you tens of dollars a night. A 3-minute map search before you go can quietly pay for a nice dinner, and even your credit card balance takes a hit you might not expect. Number 10. The incidental hold. At check-in, the front desk swipes your card just for incidentals. It sounds routine, and it is common, but it can quietly cause you real problems, especially if money is tight. Here's what's happening. Hotels place a temporary hold on your credit or debit card to cover potential extras during your stay: room service, minibar, damages. This hold can be a significant amount, and it freezes that portion of your available balance, sometimes for days, even after you check out, before it's released. If you're using a debit card or you're near your limit, that frozen money can leave you unexpectedly short at the worst possible moment. So ask at check-in how large the hold will be and how long it takes to release. When you can, use a credit card rather than a debit card for the hold, so it doesn't tie up cash you actually need. Knowing the hold is coming keeps it from catching you off guard. And inside the room, another quiet trap is waiting. Number 9. The minibar sensors. The minibar looks innocent enough, a few overpriced snacks and drinks. But in some modern hotels, it's quietly rigged, and it may charge you for things you never even consumed. Here's the twist. Some minibars now use weight or motion sensors. Simply picking up an item to look at it, or shifting a bottle to make room for your own drinks, can register as a purchase and land a charge on your bill. The prices themselves are already steep, but these automatic sensors mean you can be billed for a snack you set right back down. Many guests don't notice until checkout, and assume they must have forgotten grabbing something. So the safest move is simple. Don't touch the minibar items at all, and don't rearrange them to store your own. If you do see a mysterious minibar charge on your bill, dispute it. You should only ever pay for what you actually ate or drank. And speaking of charges you never agreed to, check your bill for this next one. Number 8. The automatic service fee. Beyond the resort fee, some hotels slip in an additional automatic service fee, or gratuity, presented as covering tips for bellhops, housekeeping, or other staff. It shows up on your bill whether you use those services or not. Here's the concern. While tipping staff is genuinely good practice, an automatic mandatory service charge is different. You may be charged a daily gratuity for a bellhop who never touched your bags, or housekeeping you asked to skip. And there's no guarantee the money even reaches the workers it's named for. In some cases, these fees simply flow into hotel operations. You end up paying a tip you had no say over, on top of any tips you choose to give directly. So scan your bill for any automatic service or gratuity charge, and ask what it's for and where it goes. If you've been charged for services you didn't use, or you'd prefer to tip staff directly, it's fair to question it. Now let's talk about a free service that quietly isn't. Number 7. The shuttle surprise. You assume the airport shuttle, or the shuttle to nearby attractions, is a complimentary perk, the way it used to be. Increasingly, that assumption can cost you. Here's the shift. Some hotels have begun charging for shuttle services that were traditionally free, and they don't always make that clear up front. You hop on, enjoy the ride, and only later discover a shuttle fee on your bill. It's a small charge on its own, but it's part of the same pattern, quietly attaching a price to things guests expect to be included, and betting you won't ask in advance. So never assume a shuttle, or any complimentary service, is actually free. Ask before you use it. Is there any charge for this? A quick question at the front desk protects you from small surprise fees that add up across a stay. And timing your arrival and departure can cost you too. Number 6. The early and late fee. Your flight lands early, or leaves late, and you'd love to get into your room a little sooner, or hold on to it a little longer. Reasonable requests, and hotels have learned to charge for both. Here's the reality. Early check-in and late checkout are increasingly treated as paid upgrades rather than courtesies, with fees attached for the privilege of a few extra hours. Hotels know travelers are often at the mercy of flight schedules, and they price that flexibility accordingly. What feels like a small kindness, letting you in at noon or out at 2, becomes another line item on the bill. So if you need early check-in or late checkout, ask about it politely rather than assuming a fee is fixed, especially if you're a loyalty member or the hotel isn't full. Front desk staff often have the discretion to grant a little flexibility for free, particularly if you simply, kindly ask. Which leads us to the moves that actually save you money, starting with how you book. Number 5. The third-party booking trap. You find your hotel through a big travel booking website, grab what looks like a deal, and feel clever. But booking through those third-party sites can quietly cost you, in ways beyond the price. Here's what many travelers don't realize. When you book through an outside site, you're often not the hotel's priority guest. You may get the least desirable rooms, have less flexibility to change or cancel, and find it harder to resolve problems because the hotel points you back to the website, and the website points you back to the hotel. And the deal isn't always cheaper than booking direct once fees are counted. You've added a middleman who doesn't fully answer to you. So compare the third-party price against booking directly with the hotel, by phone or its own website, before you commit. Direct booking often means better rooms, easier changes, and a hotel that treats you as its own guest. And booking direct unlocks the next money-saving move. Number 4. The direct booking discount. Here's the saving I promised, and it happens before you ever check in. Many hotels quietly offer better prices to guests who book directly and join their free loyalty program, prices you'll never see on the big comparison sites. Here's how it works. Hotels would rather you book with them directly than pay a commission to a third-party site, so they reward it. Sign up for the hotel's free loyalty or rewards program, and you'll often unlock a members-only rate that's noticeably cheaper than the public price, sometimes several percent lower, plus perks like free Wi-Fi, room upgrades, or a discount code just for joining. It costs nothing to enroll, and the savings can be real. So before booking, go to the hotel's own website, join its free loyalty program, and check the member rate. You may get a better price and better treatment than the exact same room booked anywhere else. And membership gives you leverage on those fees too. Now for the move that fights the fees head-on. Number 3. The unavailable amenity waiver. Remember those resort fees that supposedly pay for the pool, the gym, and the Wi-Fi? Here's your strongest weapon against them. If one of those amenities isn't actually available, you have a real case to get the fee waived. Here's the leverage. If the pool is closed for renovation, the gym is out of order, or the Wi-Fi is spotty and unreliable, then the hotel isn't delivering what the resort fee is supposed to cover. That's a reasonable, powerful argument for having the fee removed. You're being charged for services you literally cannot use. Hotels bank on guests not noticing, or not bothering to connect the dots. When you do, and you calmly point it out, that fee becomes very hard for them to justify. So during your stay, notice which included amenities are actually working. If any covered service is unavailable, raise it politely at checkout and ask for the corresponding fee to be waived. A closed pool can be worth a real discount on your bill, if you speak up, and the person who can grant that has more power than you think. Number 2. The front desk power. Here's a secret that changes how you handle your whole stay. The person at the front desk often has far more authority than they let on. They can frequently waive fees, upgrade your room, add loyalty points, and fix charges, quietly, without a manager, if they're inclined to help you. Here's the key. That inclination depends heavily on how you treat them. Front desk staff deal with frustrated, rude travelers all day. A guest who is genuinely warm, calm, and polite stands out, and staff have real discretion to reward that with upgrades, fee waivers, and small kindnesses. The same request, delivered kindly instead of angrily, can be the difference between a firm no and a quiet, let me see what I can do. So be the guest they want to help. Approach the front desk with patience and warmth. Explain your request simply and ask, don't demand. Is there anything you can do about this fee? Or, any chance of an upgrade tonight? A little kindness, aimed at someone with more power than their title suggests, can quietly save you real money. Which brings us to the single most important secret of all. Number 1. They're betting you won't ask. Here it is, the realization that unlocks nearly every trick on this list. The entire structure of hidden hotel fees depends on one quiet assumption, that you, the guest, will be too tired, too rushed, or too polite to question anything. Hotels are betting you won't ask. Think about it. The resort fee, the parking, the service charge, the surprise shuttle cost, most of these are far more negotiable than they appear. Front desk staff can often waive or reduce them, but they rarely will unless you raise it, calmly and specifically, because the whole system profits from your silence at checkout. A guest who simply reviews the bill, questions each unexpected charge, and politely asks for fees to be removed will frequently succeed where a silent guest pays every penny.